Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? It's fine early morning Pacific time. Good morrow, good evening, hello. How you guys doing? I feel like it's been a little while since I've been on the Pixo channel. Everybody hear me okay? Audio's good. My fan isn't too loud in the background, hopefully. I'll take down the starting soon image here in a second. And I'll show you what we're working on today. Loud and clear. Awesome. Good to hear. Okay, let's get you guys all set up here. Hello. Hello. Alright. Today, well, not today. I started it a couple days ago. I was just kind of farting around, playing, and wanted to do a little bit something different from what have been working on the last couple of sessions, so this is what I'm starting on. So I really wanted to do some cool, more of like a kind of demoness, queen style character. So I was going through and looking at all the stuff that I had already, and I had a couple of body scans from 3D Scan Store. They have sales quite a bit, so whenever they have a sale, I usually go in and kind of just grab some base stuff that that would help me get to a place quickly and efficiently, so I can actually start working on more of a character and not necessarily worrying about kind of base body type of stuff. So this is from a body scan. So I just took that and was like, hey, what kind of fun stuff can I do with this? Jacob, what's up, dude? How you guys doing? Dan, what's up? Morning, everyone. Got a bunch of people on YouTube, too. So we've got Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and I don't even know what the new one is. It's like a blue and white X. I don't even know what that is. I'm getting old. Anywho, so just kind of farting around with some ideas. So took the base body, posed it up, and got a little bit of kind of character of what I want her pose to be, and then just started kind of playing with some stuff around it. From there, I usually will do a lot of digging for reference and kind of just get the feel for what I want the character to be. So this is kind of what I'm going for. This is kind of a mood board for me. So it kind of gives you like this idea of what kind of character I want this to be. So like, you know, big presentation kind of thing, small little details, cool stuff. Yes, Dan. I got the 16-inch Cintiq, and it's great for mobile. I use it all the time. It's so cool. I'm not using it right now though because I'm at my desktop. Anyway, so this is kind of of a mood board that I put together for kind of like inspiration. I don't necessarily take the ideas directly from these, but I kind of use it as like, oh yeah, man, yeah, I want these feathers. Yeah, that'd be cool, right? He's got this big, huge like mane, and then definitely some horns of some kind, and like this big kind of like presentation thing behind her with maybe some of this stuff. And then I try to get a couple of images that kind of like not necessarily what the things that are going on in the outfit, but like what's the mood of that character. Like that's a couple of the things that I get on my mood board images that are really important. Like this right here encompasses like her attitude and her kind of like presentation that I want to hit. So it's really important to kind of have some of those images just to kind of keep you pressing forward. So yeah, that's where I'm at so far. Get this guy back up here. So just kind of playing around with some base ideas. Nothing too crazy. I'm probably going to start working on a couple of things I want to work on today. I want to get her hands and her arms in a better pose to kind of get a little bit more of the feeling. And then I want to work on her headdress today. That's really what I want to get done. I think I'm actually missing a piece. Hold on. Is it this one? No. Where is it? This one. This one. This one. So you can see I actually started playing around with a couple of ideas. Where is that piece? Oh, God. Don't tell me I deleted it. So I started kind of playing around with some different ideas. Just of that, like, that whole, like, kind of, like, presentation thing happening. Let's see. So there's this one. So there's that. Oh, here it is. Right, so she's got, like, this little collar thing happening. What are some of the other ones? Right, so something kind of like that. And then I said, well, so this one, it was kind of cool, but it looked a little too much kind of like sticks. I mean, obviously I would go and do more on it, but it was a little too sticky, if I may. So I want it to be a little more... Is that the one? Yeah. I mean, kind of like large pieces, and I really wanted to come into a little bit more of this type of feel to some of the pieces. Oh, here's another kind of mood that I really like of this particular character. Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're kind of playing around with some of those ideas, playing around with some base ideas, a couple of other things. It's like, oh, maybe something like that would be cool, right? Maybe like this whole bone queen, if I may. Yeah, Queen of the Dead kind of thing. So it's kind of a Queen of the Dead type of feel to it. What I didn't like about this background is it really kind of detracts from all of this information. Right? There's all this awesome, cool shapes and everything kind of get lost with all of this. So started throwing around some ideas for just maybe like a rocks or something. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm going to focus on her head and her arms today. We'll see if we can get... What's up, Seagull? How you doing, man? See if we can get some cool stuff going on in there. So I think what I'm going to do first is try to pose the arms and the hands a little bit better. But I think the feeling is already kind of coming through just by kind of nailing the pose. Right, so I kind of want that like arrogant feel, right? So, what would her hands be doing if she was sitting here, all judgy McJudgerson, looking at you? Um, maybe. All right, let's do this. Let me grab a layer. I think. Do I already have a layer? I think I have a layer. Let's see what we've got. Crash. Just kidding. Yeah, this is just general. Oh, and then I did a little bit of a head turn as well. So, in her headdress, when so I have just like a little bit of a head turn in here, so that's probably something I'll do towards the end, so I can kind of move all of this stuff as well. But I wanted to work in the symmetry, so I just used a head turn layer just to kind of get me back to straight on, so I can more easily kind of concept this stuff out, and then we'll do the head turn later. Little like Lilith, yep. Is it a character from some known theme? No, it's not. So it's kind of my own creation, my own kind of fun, kind of a demoness, kind of Queen of the Dead type of feel. Um, this is the mood that we're going for. Something kind of like this with a little bit of that. Like, don't mess with me kind of thing. Alright, where'd you go? So maybe she's got... I think actually for these guys we need to decide on this, because if we're going to rest her hand here, I think we need to not have something weird happening. So I think we're just going to... So this bone I just grabbed from the Ryan Kinsling skeleton tool that comes with ZBrush. A lot of times I'll just go in and grab something if it's if I know it's already been modeled, or if I can just grab it real quick, you know? Yeah, a little bit of this and a little bit of that kind of thing, you know? I think this is even enough that we can start playing around now. So let's go in. Let's grab her. We're going to add a new layer. We're going to call this hand pose. Poser. Alright, I'm going to take this all the way down to sub D1 and make sure that I have symmetry off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do this, maybe the hand comes up like this, and she's got her, the forearm comes up like this, and she's got her hand down, and her whole arm is kind of resting on her elbow and her fingers. That might be kind of cool. So she's kind of like sitting like this, and she's got her fingers, you know, something like that. That might be kind of cool. We'll see. Let's see what we can do. Oop, not that one. I'm going to turn the base off as well real quick so I can... Base. Okay, so then we'll just grab my Gizmo, and then let's just replace it here. I'm going to hit Y and go to the old Gizmo, because I like the old Gizmo. If I can remember how to use it. God, it's been a while. There we go. All right, so we can do that. So I like placing this kind of as a bone. Kind of right where it should be. Oh man, the thing I don't like about the it doesn't have history on the placement of this guy. So like if you accidentally click something, it's like, you must want to reset it. That's what you want, right? No, no, dude. All right, let's see if I can just kind of, let's put it on rotate. There we go. So kind of move it up just ever so slightly so that she can get her hand down. So I'm just going to head back to. Tell us more about the Marvel's Avengers game characters and the journey of fun that you had. I really can't talk about it at this point, other than it's been a project of a lifetime, and I'm completely honored to be working on it. Other than that, they're really tight-lipped on just even kind of mentioning and talking about it. So once it's out, then I probably will do more with it if they let me. But right now it's safe not to talk about it too much. Sorry, Shaquille. Okay, we're gonna go step up into subdivision real quick. And then we're just going to do that. Alright. Okay, and then maybe we'll get a little twist here. And then let's see how that feels. So she's kind of got this kind of like contempt feel, right? Then we'll just do some quick adjustments here. Okay. Yeah. The pictures are even more dangerous, dude. They'd be like, "What the hell? Let's take fire, Brendon." Absolutely. I'd be happy to answer anything that I can after the release. And thank you for being patient and understanding. Okay, let's. So after I do a little bit of like a rotation or movement or anything, I like to come in with my smooth brush, and then just you can kind of see some of the things getting a little wonky in here. So I use my Alt Smooth. So hold down Shift, start smoothing, and then I let go of Shift, and that will kind of it'll keep the overall shape the best it can, but it'll just smooth out some of the transitions between the geo. So that's Alt Smooth. I use that all the time. Okay. Whoop. Like that. Twitch doesn't like the nips, so I had to get rid of them. Good thing I did. Alright. That feels okay. No nips on Twitch. They have nipple police. So we don't do it. I think maybe it can actually come up more and her hand down more. Let's see if we can get a little bit more rotation through that. Yeah, I know. It was a little jarring. All right. I did it on purpose though because I use solo all the time, and if I'm working on the body and I hit solo, like I don't. It's just awkward. I don't wanna. All right. So maybe something like this. Maybe actually she's bending her arm more. Ah, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, bro. I don't have a video of modeling her face. Basically what I did was this is the body is from Scan Body, so I took most of that from that scan and then changed her face just changed her facial structures a bit, so it wasn't so exact when it came to um, the scan. So if you go to um, what is it? 3D scan store. I think that's what it is. Let me see. Let me grab my phone real quick. I think it's 3D scan store. Yeah, 3D scan store. Um, they have a lot of great starting places. So maybe she's kind of got this kind of thing happening. All right, and then let's just fix some wonky anatomy in here. Yeah, so that's the thing is, you know, if you do enough practice and um, you've done things enough times, you don't have to redo everything every single time. You know what I mean? Like if you already have, no, and nobody does it. No, like if you have people that are working, you know, at a high level, they don't start with a base head every single time. They have a base head with good topology and good UVs already set up, right? So you don't need to do the groundwork every single time, you know? If you've done anatomy and you've nailed it and the practice that you're doing is not anatomy practice and it's more about you know, character creation and ideation, why spend the time? Why spend the time working on anatomy if you don't necessarily need to at that moment? If you got the time, awesome, you know? But I'm of the mind, and production is like this a lot too, where you know you don't create a base every single time. You know what I mean? It's just it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? Oh, I would say you still need to do it more than once. I think you need to work on anatomy as much as possible. Um, as much as humanly possible. Yeah, get it? That's kind of starting to feel a little cool. I think this needs a little adjustment now. Absolutely. Reusable low poly geo is a big boon for pipelines. I mean, it's kind of like kit bashing, you know, but it's I mean, you don't remake your base every single time. Whoa, that elbow. Whoa. It's a sin to use scan, so I'm not going to Valhalla. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you can modify the faces quite a bit as long as you're not changing the UVs. So you can't remesh it. You can't use uh, Sculptris Pro, that kind of thing. Anything that screws the UVs, you kind of want to stay away from. But you can adjust things around quite a bit. All right, so now her hands kind of do that. I'll kind of mess with the fingers maybe later, but let's see what maybe. Maybe she could have this arm in like this and kind of hanging down this way. That might be kind of cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm just like when you relocate your widget, you can alt click, right? But if you alt click and drag, it will try to get it in the orientation of your drag. All right, so let's put this guy down. So kind of maybe just have this act like a bone here. Ooh. Cigarette in the right arm, coffee in the left. I love it. Let's just totally jack it for a second because just want to see if the overall feel. So a lot of times, if I'm just kind of playing around with a pose, I won't really care too much about what's happening on those, because I just want to spend the time seeing if the feeling of the pose is right. Right? She kind of got like this type of feel. Might be a little too much. Something like that. It's kind of cool. Cool. See, this is where your anatomy practice comes in handy. To see if you can. Let's see if we can just save this. Let's see if we can do it. Oh. Should we give her a Santa hat? So there's some anatomy practice when it comes to this stuff. She kind of got big arms, doesn't she? What part do I typically stop sculpting in Symmetry and start posing? Um, it's a little bit of. Let's just escape out of that. Wait for the program. Thank you. If I'm doing a full production model, I won't pose it at all. But if I'm doing just kind of a character concept, um, I'll try to just pose it right away. At this point, it's definitely more of kind of a concept piece. You know, it's a little bit more of 3D concepting at this point. Um, so what I would do is what I try to do is I try to do my asymmetry in parts that that don't have design on them. So you notice like the torso and the head, I keep in symmetry, right? And then my asymmetry is, you know, in my hands, or maybe it's in the leg poses and that kind of thing. That way, it would be not too crazy to actually get this onto an A posed model um, and do it there. But for my own kind of production and during this kind of concepting phase, I usually break symmetry fairly early, um, except for in the design areas. I try to keep that in symmetry. So you notice like all of this is symmetrical, all of this is symmetrical. RJ, this is just a concept I'm working on, a personal concept. For anybody actually that wasn't here at the very beginning, I'll show you the mood boards that I have. I always keep them here. So I don't know if you guys use this or not, but this see-through slider up at the top I use all the time. It's amazing. So I can just go, is that feeling? I'd say evil, like the frets of the devil. Kind of Queen of the Damned. So this is kind of my mood. Kind of, I would say, is this Baroque? Is that the right word for that? This type of feel of stuff? I think it's the right word. I'm not sure. But like kind of big presentation, framing, some horns, like some attitude, um, some elegance, that kind of thing, right? And this one, this type of feel with this. Like that's the feel of the character that I'm kind of going for. So again, the base anatomy is it's from a scan. I have no qualms about saying I use scans when I can. I think it's important to, ooh, ouch. I think it's important to get to the places that you want to get to work on the things that you want to work on quicker. Um, so I don't necessarily need to work on anatomy. So I kind of like that pose. It's kind of cool. I think we could do more with the fingers over there. But the general idea is there any way to create transparent clothes in ZBrush? The only way you can get transparency is if you're using, I think it's in BPR transparency, BPR, not external render properties, and I think you have to do, there is a transparency render. Where was it? BPR transparent shading. So you use it in display properties, but it will only render when you do a BPR render. So that's how. Yeah. So that's how you can get some of the things to render transparently. So you do this with the render BPR transparency, and then you can use this in here. And then I think in your render properties, transparent. So you have to turn that guy on too. Yeah, you see through a lot too, RJ. The best thing I think is we can always transfer polygroup separation to a different model. Yeah, absolutely. What's the keywords for searching for those types of photo references? Honestly, I use Pinterest a lot. Pinterest is really good for kind of going in photo directions, I guess you could say. You know, so like I kind of looked at like cosplay horns, I think, first, and then I started finding some of this stuff, and then I started finding this kind of thing, and then that led me to like a picture like this, and then those pictures kind of led me to this type of stuff. So it's kind of like these different to make transparency. Yeah, that's actually what I did for the Sea Witch. Let's see you real quick. Let me show you. Let me show you here. See. So that's what I did for these pieces. So this is just a cylinder, and I sculpted the top of it to kind of look like waves, and then I rendered it transparency. So there's a lot of cool things that you can kind of do with it. Yeah. And then same thing down here. You could do the same thing to pretty much almost any geo. If you've been rejected from a studio after art test, would you apply to them again once they open the available position? You could. You definitely could. What I would do is I would definitely continue to add stuff to your portfolio. Because a no, or if you didn't get a position, it's not necessarily because you failed an art test. It could just be that somebody else was a better fit at that particular time. And a lot of times you don't hear back on an art test, unfortunately. But it's the truth. So if you continue to apply, what the worst that they're going to say is no again. But it does show that you have tenacity, and you have you really would like to work at that particular company, and that goes a long way. So I'll show you some of the other things that I do quite a bit when I'm doing these types of concepting. I'm like, you know what? It'd be cool if like we had a little skull here. And it'd be cool if she's kind of sitting on a giant skull. That'd be kind of cool too. Well, do I want to take the time and sculpt out a whole skull? Nah. So let's go to Tool and grab the Kinsling. So I'll just grab this one. Yeah, see? Let's do auto groups. Okay, we'll do delete hidden. And then I don't want these guys, so we'll just do that. Do delete hidden. We'll do group all. Alright, look, now I got a skull. Ha ha ha! Yeah, see? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Starting from scratch. These guys in there starting from scratch. And then, so then we'll just go in and we'll append this dude. Look, now I got a skull. Ain't that cool? It's like part bashing. You know what I mean? What if she's got like this little skull that sits there? Yeah, see? That's cool. Alright, now let's kind of play around with some fun stuff in here. But maybe I don't want the bottom jaw. You know, maybe this dude, let's do this. Yeah, Sculptress is good. You could even look into ZBrush Core. Is a kind of an entry version to ZBrush. Oh Jesus, come on. Okay. So just take a second to separate these dudes out. So we'll do group visible. We'll switch this to group visible. Switch that, do group visible. Now I have these on separate pieces, which means that let's do split hidden. Okay, cool. So now what I could do is just push all this in a little bit. Sculptor still free? That's a good question. I have no idea. Turn off lazy mouse. There we go. Let's turn on double. Haha! That's the issue. Back face. So that's just the other side kind of poking through there. Yeah, I don't really like the jaw in there. So let's turn the jaw off. Turn it off, man. And then we'll just undo some of those. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, well, let's start playing around with some shapes. All right, so in this particular case, let's use some standard, and we'll just work on some Sculptris Pro here. Yes, that's fine. Let me just see if we can get some depth happening. So you'll see what I did was I used just some of the swirly swirl. What does it be? S? Spiral. So just use some spiral to kind of get some of that kind of like swirly twirly stuff going on. And then from there, you can just have some fun, you know? Creating some designs and see what kind of fun we can have. And then we can switch over to some damn standard. Maybe just you, Bear. Is anybody else hearing an echo? Nope. Looks like it's just you, sir. Yeah, that's a little weird, man. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I do have a fan running in the background. Might be it. The mystery continues. It's all good, dude. All good. It gets hot in my office. All these computer fans rolling. I'm just gonna try to get some interesting designs happening. We'll see kind of where it goes here. Maybe we'll do my lazy mouse a little bit. The nice thing about this is that, you know, if you don't have to have everything perfect, you know, you can go in and just move some of this stuff. Yeah, I use a little bit of the spiral brush to kind of get some of the big shapes, and then just go in and start having some fun after that, you know? So you can see before what I did was, actually, I'm going to save it real quick and I'll show you exactly how I got to this point. Save it! Yes, save it. Okay. So you start playing around with however you're doing, and then you just Z-remesh it. And then you can do a panel loops on it. That's how I got that thickness on it. So you just come down. Let's just do it. Let's just do it and show you. How about that? So then I got this. Something like that. Let's do delete hidden and get rid of everything else. We'll do a quick ZRemesh at maybe half. I like 20 by 20 on this. Tends to give me a little bit better results. Just kind of doing some weird stuff. And we can do polish by groups. Polish crisp edge. Oh, it got holes. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe we'll do close holes. And that's going to try to close everything back there. I may crash. We'll see. We will see. If you do run into stuff like this, you could just use Dynamesh. Dynamesh probably won't be good. Actually, don't use Dynamesh, because it'll try to close the hole back there. I'm just going to... It's going to crash. And we're just going to reopen, because it just saved it. What you could do is... Let's see, let's just load. Save early, save often. Oh, you had me open a YouTube channel as well. Ah, that'll do it. That could be why there's an echo. New document. There we go. T. There we go. Okay. Try that again. Where are we at? Okay. So we'll do delete hidden. We'll do geometry, ZRemesher. We'll do maybe half, 2020. See what that gives us. Probably going to give us the same issue, but then we'll know not to do close holes. Do I have a complete game character course? I do not. Although I do take serious requests. I've been thinking about doing. I've been thinking actually about doing a head for game art course. Because dude, there's so much that goes into heads. Oh my god. Oh my god. So much. Yeah. Anyway, so what I would do is just do a quick ZRemesh, and then you can come down to Geo. You do edge loop, and we do panel loop. So in this case, I don't want any polish. I want my elevation to be at negative, so it goes in instead of out. Loops I want at 1 thickness. That's fine. So we'll just try that out, and basically what that does is it gives you that. Alright, so now it's a closed mesh, basically. And then if you want to fix these holes, you can either do a Dynamesh now, or you can just kind of scoot all this together and then do another ZRemesher. So that's kind of how I got to where I was. But I'm going to go back. Going back. So that's how I got to here. And then we just redid some sculpting. What processor and video card? And RAM. I'm using the i7-8700K, I think is what it was. And I have a 1070, NVIDIA 1070. What else do I have? RAM, 32 gigs of RAM. Yeah, I use a lot of shortcuts. So I do clay buildup, move to topological, H polish, dam standard, and Z modeler. So I go between those quite a bit. So if you're ever wondering what brush I'm using, you can always see up here. Yeah, lazy mouse. Just trying some different shape ideas. See how that kind of feels. Does it have the feels? You can try to get maybe a little bit more depth out of some of these. Kind of cool. And I'm always looking at the silhouette as well. So I'm always looking at this kind of 3/4 silhouette whenever I'm doing things, because I want it to be where in any rotation it's got some interesting shapes happening. But you can map to the numpad. Yeah, you can map on the numpad. Yeah. Basically, all you have to do is you just hover over whatever you want, and you hit Control and Alt, and then click on it, and then so if I do Control Alt and click, you'll see in the very top, before I move my cursor, you see in the very top left it says press any combination to assign the key. So in this case, I'll do A. So then you can see that it says clay buildup A. That's the key that I just assigned it to. And you'll see that I use V for solo, Shift V for transparency, Shift F for polyframe. So I can kind of move back and forth between, so Shift V for ghosting, V for solo, and then Shift F for polyframe. So I kind of move around fairly quickly. So you want to get that stuff nailed down as quickly as possible, so that you get comfortable working in your own skin. You know what I mean? Let's turn Sculptus Pro back on. After I switch between ZModeler and other brushes, the dynamic brush size button enables, and I have to disable it manually every time. I think you can go and do that now in, I think it's Draw. I think these two buttons right here. So it'll do remember draw size per brush and remember dynamic mode per brush. So if you're in 2020, you should be able to use this. What I would do is I would drag this out onto your, whatever your UI is, so that you know that that's on or off. Probably put it somewhere. Okay, so I don't want this like consistent thickness all around, so I'm just going to use smoothing with the Sculptus Pro on, and that'll kind of give me, it'll do that. Basically what it's doing is it's remeshing as I go with that Sculptress Pro at whatever my brush size is. So I typically would, if I'm doing little stuff like this out here, and I don't want that consistent edge, I'll just go through and use Sculptress Pro and just give it a quick smooth over. And then again, I'm using the Alt Smooth, so it's holding down Shift and then letting go and then still smoothing. And then again, when you're doing working on something like this that has yeah, man, yeah, no problem. When you have something like this that is really thin, so like if you're coming in here like, oh, I'm gonna do some cool stuff, then you're like, oh crap, what the? You can just use backface mask. Backface mask is per brush. So that's why I have this out here. Backface mask is in brush, auto masking, backface mask. It's also right here. How many artists or how many people? We've got 5 character artists, including me, on site. Okay. Now let's see if we can get some cool stuff happening in here. Look at that. I wasn't using backface mask. Ha ha ha. Let's use backface mask for this one. So now when I go through and do... Oh, that's right. You can't use backface mask and Sculptress Pro at the same time. So, yes, I got that. Let's turn that off. So what I'll do is, instead, I should be able to hide everything back there. That's what I should be able to do. Or what I could do is mask it, right? So because I did the panel loops thing, which means that all of this back here is a different group. So I could just mask all that. And then now when I go do Sculptress Pro, it won't affect back there. What? Dougie, you're banned. Banned, Dougie. Right off the bat. I was playing, dude. What's up? Permaban. Alright. Let's see if we can get some cool shenanigans happening. Shebanigans. Yeah. Happy awesome. Happy awesome, dude. Oh, no, not that one. See how this is feeling. It's kind of feeling kind of cool. I don't know about you. It's getting there. Kind of starting to get the right feeling. Let's see if we can get some of these shapes a little less wonky. A little less wonkified. A little less wonkerific. Wonkalaya. Need more coffee. So I tried to integrate shapes with things that are happening all over, right? So it's kind of like this over the ear type of thing, you know? And then like when you so it's compound shapes and compound silhouettes is thing that really kind of drives me. So, you know, from one view it does one thing, right? But then you turn it to another view and like, look, now it's got this other existence, you know? Like it's still, you know, maybe we can take this up a bit. And then from this angle it also kind of wraps like and kind of goes like this, right? And follows this curve. So maybe it goes something like that, right? So if you're here, it's kind of got this around the ear type of thing, and then if you come here, it's got this interesting silhouette here, but as you're here, it's still kind of following that same motif. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Well, I do texture painting and would like to see your workflow. I did some with Substance, but the files got gigantic. Yeah, I have that same problem, dude. I have that same problem. Um, I probably will do some Substance Painter stuff with this. But what I may do is I may just use that Pablo's compositor tool. It looks really, really cool. We'll see. But the general idea is yes, I would like to put on some base materials and kind of play around with some things. I think she's gonna hurt herself with them too. So again, I'm just kind of looking things in all views. You know, maybe this. All right, and then now that I have the general shape, maybe some of these. So at this case, I don't necessarily mind that it's doing it in the back here, because then I'm kind of getting some free work. You know what I mean? Hey Tom, what's up, man? Oh, you were in that class. I'm glad you got some good stuff out of it, dude. That was a fun project. I did a little substance painter class with um, the 3D character workshop guys. My buddy Shane. Yeah, maybe some of these. That's good though, man. Have you been using Substance Painter more? All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Shane's awesome. He does the good stuffs. His his control over his forms is just it's pretty incredible. I'm in awe. I don't like really what's happening here, so maybe we can add just a little bit more. That tangent is feeling a little funky. It's awesome, Tom. Awesome, man. Really glad to hear. This new feature in their autosave where you can hit cancel or hold escape and it will cancel autosave. Love it. Yeah, that's a really nice Christmas gift, dude. That's so awesome. Prayers are answered. Let's see if I can get a little more detail out of this. What if this came down? Oh, it's fun doing this type of work every once in a while. A lot of my work professionally is a lot of technical work. Um, getting getting a concept up and running and um, in game and making sure everything's working technically and all your maps are good and all your materials are set up. It's fun, but a lot of times you don't get to do a lot of the really nice, good, creative, fun stuff. So it's nice to get to do this every once in a while here. Okay, so I want some of these designs to kind of encompass the skull here. Oh. See if we can get some of these pieces coming up this way a little bit better. All right, so you kind of get the idea of this piece, what I'm doing here. I think let's move on to maybe getting some of these feelings. How are these guys? How are they working? I kind of want them to go in line with what's happening. Probably should grab some reference for these. That'd be good. The other thing I wanted to do real quick. It's starting to feel cool. You start getting some of that level of detail in there. Is pretty cool. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can get some of this kind of a big feathered mane happening. So that this type of idea. That's really what I'd like to do. So I'm just gonna block out a feather real quick, and maybe we'll make an insert brush out of that. Yeah, this feather's good. And then we'll do some changes to the back of the helmet here, and we can see if we can get this nice feathered mane happening. So first we need to make room for it. So this we'll just pull it out like that. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Then maybe we'll just make some room. Yeah, we'll just do it. We'll just do it real quick right now. Right about meow. So I think maybe this stuff should come out a little bit further. This should be a little bit more prominent back here. Okay, we'll work on all that a little bit more once we get the overall shape happening. Let's save it first. Yeah, having that escape out of autosave is so awesome. All right. So I'm going to grab this dude, bring that over there. Okay, so let's just append in a cube. Yeah, something like that. Then typically what I'll do is escape out of autosave robs us viewers of hearing you sigh and grumble. Oh, I'll make up for that. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry your pretty little face off there, Dougie. Alright, we'll just do a quick ZBrush. I'll do detect edges. Something like that. Detect edges is really awesome because it keeps all that. I don't really care about that at this point, but I like to just kind of get some even geo in there. Okay. Start shaping. So we typically got a point. Let's see how bad I can make this feather. Live. Whoa. What the? What the hell, Bobby? Let me turn this off. So I'm just using smooth to kind of get that down. I'm going to give this some roundness. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these in there, so I'll just kind of get the basic idea here. I'm not too worried about making the perfect feather. The perfect feather. Let's grab standard. Grab my lazy mouse. Let's just do that. Okay, fine. Whatevs. I wonder if I could just do mirror and weld. Hello. Alright, you want to come say hi? Come here. Come here, little one. Oh. What's there? What's Daddy working on? Say hello. Hello. What? Dad, what do you got on your head? What are you doing? Hi. How's it going? You want to talk? Say don't eat it though, okay? Yeah. Good morning. How's it going? You see what Daddy's working on? He's working on like all the cool stuff, huh? So cool. Hey, there we go. Whoa, look at that. Ooh. You're not even looking. Dad, there's too much cool stuff on your desk. Yeah, see the little skull? Yeah. No coffee. Can't have any coffee. Alright, buddy. See you in a little bit. See you in a little bit. No, Dad, I want to make the cool stuff with you. Alright. Say bye. Bye. Okay, all done. All done. All done. Oh, there we go. Alright. So put on the cartoons, Dad. Yeah, I know, right? Alright. Let's see if we can get these guys. Let's just do some quick. Yeah. Let's do some super quick. Super quick. It just takes a couple minutes to make a feather. There was a way to do this a little while ago. What is the camera under? Is it camera is under document? No, it's under. Where's the camera stuff? Was it under render? Nope. Document. Nope. Color. No. What's it under? Here we go. There's a way to lock. Yes. See this guy? I gotta put this out here right now. So a lot of times what I'll do is I realize that I really want to use something, so I'll just come in and do edit, customize, and then I'll grab. Where did it go? Just grab this guy over here, and then I'm gonna take this dude and bring him over here. Grab that. Close that guy again. Go to preference, enable customize store config. Yes. Now I have lock on here, which is awesome. So I can lock the camera, and now I can't move it, right? So if I want to pull off the edge, I can do that now without moving the camera. And why do most studios demand character creature artists to master Maya or Max? I mean, apart from Retopo and UV, is there anything else really? Yeah, there's usually a lot that goes into doing characters. You know, especially if you're doing I mean, you're in a production environment, and most of the time, most studios are using Max or Maya. So being able to make sure that you're able to work in a established production environment is really important. I'm probably in Maya more I am than ZBrush. Because with character art, it's not just about character creation. It's about management and getting all the systems running, and that type of thing. So being able to work in an established environment is really important. No, I'm using the camera lock, so when you press the camera won't move, basically, so I can't move the camera. Hold on one second. Okay. Alright, so then I've got... Yeah, it's super handy. So now I've got a feather. I got a feather. Yeah, I got a feather. So I'm just going to use this guy. We'll just kind of pull him off over here. And then actually what I want to do before... Let's turn off Symmetry. Okay, that's good. And then kind of want this to just go one way. Like this. So we get a little bit of that curvature depth. No, it's not rude. It all depends. Um, it's a question that's really really hard to answer. Uh, the easiest answer I can give for you for like pricing is what's your hourly worth? What's your hourly rate? And then you take that and say, it'll probably take me this many hours. That makes sense? Just get a little bit more curvature to that. Sure. It did not do it to the other side. Look at that. Awesome. Whatever. I should do it real quick. Alright, maybe we'll just use inflate this time. Turn that off. Just pinch. And we'll just grab this guy and this guy. Then we'll just grab that and we'll just do a little. We get a little, just a little bit of. Yeah, sure, fine, good. All right, so let's duplicate this guy. I'm gonna bring down. We'll get that down to about the right size. Then I think what we'll do is we will use bend curve, and then we'll just. Oops. We don't want it that way. We want it that. Smooth, symmetrical. Curve resolution. There we go. Then we'll just do something like that. And we'll do accept. Cool. And then I'm just going to just place a bunch of these real quick, and then we're going to move a lot of them by hand. Just want to populate this in about the orientation that I really want. Okay, so we got that. Let's clear that mask. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all these guys, going to move that like this, and then I'm going to duplicate that whole thing, move that over again. Alright, and then now the fun comes. So I'll just use my move topological, and then I'll just start kind of moving these dudes around a bit more. Okay, make them a little bit smaller. All right, you start getting the idea here. And then you can start moving it this way. Alright, so then let's duplicate this guy one more time. Let's do mirror. And then we'll move him out like this. So really quickly you can kind of, then we just go in and manipulate those even more. We start getting the idea. Right? Yeah. That's starting to feel pretty cool. But I do have to end it a couple minutes early. My wife is not feeling good. Yeah, thick enough for 3D print you can do as well. And then you can just Dynamesh all that too if you really want to. And all these are separate. So let's actually save real quick before moving. I found that when you're moving things, especially the move topological brush, I personally get a lot of crashes. But we'll see. We'll see. So we can use. So I know which ones I'm working on. All right, move topological is really awesome because you can just, whichever one that you grab, it will only move whatever's on that mesh. You know, you can start giving it some bend this way and that. Right, you got the idea. All right, so I think I'm going to cut it there for today. If you guys want to follow me on my own channel, you can. It is right there. That's my website. But further over there, twitch.tv/Brendon Isaiah Bengtson. Copy paste is your friend. You can follow me there. I may try to do some more with this on my own personal channel. So if you'd like to keep up with me there, be awesome. And I will be back in January for I have a couple streams in January. Same bat time, same bat channel. And have a great holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Merry Holidays. Be safe over the new year, and be kind to strangers. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys learned a couple things, but most of all, I hope you were inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So do it. Go out there, have some fun, make some cool stuff, be merry, and be kind. All right. See you guys very soon. Very soon. Oh, yeah. Man, she's looking cool. Yeah. All right, guys. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you soon.